But now I would like to talk to you more about something that I'm actually very excited to talk about, and that is your platform, the Chemical Engineering Guy. But before, asking all the questions, now you gave a very brief introduction in the very beginning. But for the people who don't know, can you also kindly tell us that what it is that you do through the platform as the very known chemical engineering guy?
Well, the main concept is to make educational content, overall courses, trainings, webinars. I have been doing some articles, blog posts, and of course, trying to be present in social media. Right now, what I see the trend is shifting towards very small content or short content videos. So I need to see how I adapt that, because it's hard to actually like deepen in a engineering topic in the 1 minute or 30 seconds that you have in a TikTok video. But people is going there. So the challenge will be that. But overall, what I do is train yourself or train in a topic that you want to learn on chemical engineering. And my main platform is, of course, long courses, 5-10 hours. I'm now experimenting lower terms, maybe 1 to 2 hours. But overall, that's how my main business has been performing since I started it. I have a website, you go there, or maybe you know me via YouTube or any other social media. You go to my website, you check out the courses. Hopefully you already trust me on my teaching skills and get your course.
Okay, perfect. So you are available on YouTube, you have a website, and on Instagram, and also on TikTok.
TikTok, Facebook, Reddit, and what else?
Amazing.
Or I have been doing some Quora,
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Amazing. So you are everywhere, you could say. Wherever there's the social media, so you are there.
I try to be everywhere where it makes sense, because sometimes some places don't make that much of a sense, and I stop like creating content on those platforms.
Yep, amazing. But then, now we know that you have made quite a name for yourself, of course, in the social media. And I think it's very difficult to find a chemical engineer who may not have heard of chemical engineering life at one point of their life. But going to very beginning, and you mentioned earlier that the reason you got into this area was because you could not see yourself working in the industry for that long. But then the main question comes up is that because, going on your own, especially going into online work, that is a huge decision, leaving your day job and going up and doing an online job. That is something that is not very physical, and a lot of people advise against it. If I was to ask, what was your opinion back then, and what truly helped you to make that decision to leave your physical job and to go and do this online work?
Well, I would say that I had the advantage of being young. I didn't have any girlfriend or any partner to have a discussion with. I didn't own student loans or any kind of debt. And well, all that is already a privilege, but also I will have the extra privilege of living in a third world country, which is shitty payment, a lot of work hours, and life-work balance is definitely not the most great one. And when I try to explain this versus maybe you that live in Denmark, or I went to Germany, so I know Mexicans that went back to Germany, is of course making something of your own in European countries wouldn't make that much of a sense, because the risk may not be that great compared on what you have already. But in countries such as Mexico, Brazil, Middle East, Turkey, it makes much more sense so you have a very small, let's say, currently you have something that is not that great, and the rewards are going to be way skyrocket compared to that. So of course it makes a lot of sense to do so. And that will be exactly what I will say to myself. That's what I said to myself when I was 25 years old. And this is the same that I still live that motto, that it's the moment, the rewards are going to be greater. And it's also a noble work to do to help others. So it's all connected, and back in the day made a lot of sense, and right now still makes a lot of sense.
Yep. Well, that's amazing. I mean, that truly is very right, and that's very interesting way to look at it. And I fully agree. As long as the rewards outweigh the risks, then there is no reason for you to not to do it. But it's really amazing that you chose that path at least. But then, because now once you were doing your day job or you had your normal job, did you shift like overnight to your online work, or was it like part time first and then you went full time later on?
I tried to make it like as a side, and I started to building all that, but I didn't have the time because I finished job and I did some like hobbies, activities,
Mm-hmm.
and I just got back home and I said, I don't want to work. I have 2 hours free. I need to make some extra activities. I don't want to work right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to work as much as possible on Saturdays, and I saw that this was not the way. I needed to make it full time. Otherwise, the advance will not be like,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't see my
Of course.
project like
Yep.
build
Mm-hmm.
at the time or rate I wanted to. So that's why I just stopped working
Mm-hmm.
and dedicated myself to that. And also the idea of not having an income, it's
Mm-hmm.
either good or bad. Because good because you need to like work towards the income, and
Mm-hmm.
bad because it's stressful. It's not nice to not have a
Of course.
job or
Mhm. Of course, but I fully agree. I mean, if you're going to do something, at least do it like full heartedly. You have to go all in, and like how they say, burn the ships. So you only have one way,
exactly.
and that's going forward. So that's
That's
great. Mhm. But it's
that
great that you have achieved great success in it. Now it's been 14 years that you have been doing it. No, 9 years, sorry, right? So
nine, nine.
you've been doing it for 9 years, and you are quite good at it, and you found that you have achieved success in it. But I have to ask, I think I know the answer, but has it been a very difficult and a long journey to be here where you are today?
Well, it's like a roller coaster, so it wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be that easy to say. Initially, it was fun because I was learning a lot on how to build a
Mm-hmm.
website, membership website,
Mm-hmm.
and all the marketing, how to like it was very baby steps 10 years ago, let's say. And suddenly it started like working. So my first courses weren't that much of an impact. I had some
Mm-hmm.
sales, but not that hardcore. And
Mm-hmm.
then I did a Aspen Plus course, the basic course, and that's helped me to see maybe not full-time income, but helped me to see that it could be a good option to actually try to work towards courses that
Mm-hmm.
people is asking, not the courses that I want to make, but what are
Mm-hmm.
people asking for.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
eventually it started to level up,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's like the main idea is sometimes when the pandemic hit, it was very
Yep.
good for me because a lot of sales, I
Mm-hmm.
like partial like a lot of success, a lot of sales. You don't
Yep.
need to do that much, but
Mm-hmm.
now I see it may be like hard. It's always hard to try to adapt
Yep.
because back in the day was be certain type of YouTube videos need to be that way. You need to
Mm-hmm.
be like more, you need to appear in camera, you need to do more like funny stuff. Back in the day was more on challenges or jokes
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
Yep.
And then it was Instagram or Reels that more
Mm-hmm.
into like stories. And right now it's more
Mm-hmm.
into TikTok. So it's hard to adapt always
Mm-hmm.
what you want to make, but it's the way business
Mm-hmm.
operates. So
Yep.
there's no other way around to do that. So that will be
Mm-hmm.
the overall idea. Yes, it's hard because you need to adapt overall,
Yep.
especially if you have a team that may help you. You need everything depends on yourself. So that's
Mm-hmm.
something that you need
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do and understand that you are the boss, you
Mm-hmm.
are the worker, you are
Mm-hmm.
the marketing guy, you are the operations guy, you are the quality content
Mm-hmm.
control, you're the social media, your
Mm-hmm.
accountant, finances, all that. If you
Mm-hmm.
like that, then you're going to enjoy it. And
Yep.
also be able to, I don't know, how to accept risk in a
Yep.
manner, because there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people that wouldn't be able to, okay, I didn't sell this month and
Yep.
it's going to be low. And next month,
Exactly. Yep.
maybe it's okay. But you need
Mm-hmm.
to have that guts to say, okay, I can handle it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You need to have the strength to keep moving even if you're failing again and again. That's like the main thing of going alone. I fully agree. And of course, the problem with social media is, of course, that it keeps changing. Every year you have a new trend that you have to learn, and it is what it is, and you just have to adapt to it. And you're very right. But then I would like to ask you, let's say, because now back in the day, probably maybe I would say it was still competitive as it was back then when you started. Of course, it has always been competitive, but you could also argue that now there are a lot more content creators as compared to as they were 5 years ago and compared to the one they were 10 years ago. Let's say if someone would like to go and be a content creator or start an online platform like you did today, what advice would you give them? What are the things that they should be aware of before they start their journey?
Wow, that's interesting question. I will say first, be patient
Mm-hmm,
because it doesn't build overnight. You typically see
mm-hmm,
the ones that skyrocket or go viral, but that's very not likely to happen to you. You need to be constant.
yeah.
You need to be creative. You need to adapt. Also, sometimes you want to make some ideas of your own. You need to reiterate. Simply, if it doesn't work, change ideas. But
Mm-hmm,
also, if you change a lot of ideas, it wouldn't stick. So that balance, it's also important.
mm-hmm,
But the most important thing I would say that you need to enjoy it.
mm-hmm,
If you enjoy it, you're going to have a easier time because
mm-hmm.
you always need patience, and it's also about analytics.
Yep.
How which ideas are working, which are not, how much are you spending, or how efficient are you in such type of videos, and so on. Overall, you have these all opportunities or skills or tools, and you need to know, as any engineering role, to use the most efficient tools for the time that
Mm-hmm.
you are given.
Exactly. That's very nicely advised. Thank you. And I fully agree. Patience is number one thing that you have to have when you are going alone, especially in the world of in the ever-changing world that we live in today. But then, I would like to ask you that if you now look back, now I know that you enjoyed this a lot more than your industrial job, but at the same time, do you today feel that if you had stayed in the industry, hypothetically, do you feel that you could ever have reached the success that you have today? Or do you ever look back and say that maybe I could have stayed in the industry for slightly longer or so?
For sure, I could have stayed. That will be the status quo or normal thing to do.
Mm-hmm,
Actually, the thing that society encourages you.
mm-hmm,
But I wouldn't be happy. And I still remember like waking up early in the morning and asking myself why I am doing this,
mm-hmm,
and myself answering, because I need to pay the bills.
mm-hmm.
But I'm happy with the decision I made. For sure, I'm pretty sure that I will have been able to advance through different stages, because
Mm-hmm.
I went to the industry because I knew that I wanted to be in the industry first. But my main
Mm-hmm.
idea was to eventually change to something like more admin role,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't know, something that you go to the office and just stay there, maybe presentation with clients or so.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm pretty sure I could have make it, but it's something that once again I didn't want to have the
Yep.
limitations of a job. Maybe even though pay will be great,
Mm-hmm.
maybe like all may have been good, but still knowing that it doesn't depend on myself is something that I
Yep.
really hated the most. That I
Yep.
made do this decision, but
Mm-hmm.
they are not willing to take it, and it really
Yep.
feels like powerless.
I fully agree. I mean, you can't put a price tag on freedom, right? And also
Exactly.
being your own boss and making the decisions yourself, that is priceless. You're not working for someone that doesn't even know your name, but rather you're working for something created of your own. So I fully agree. That's very nicely put. Thank you. But now, it's been 9 years, but I would still say that you're still in the very early stages because there is no, you still have not reached the plateau. Yeah, you're still ongoing. And like you said, the industry keeps changing. So what are your plans for the future? What do you see yourself doing next?
Well, my main plan has been to grow, eventually have a team and be able to make more content, not
Mm-hmm,
only in chemical engineering, but related fields, maybe electronic,
mm-hmm,
maybe process control, more
mm-hmm.
on AI for chemical engineering, or content
Yep.
that helps the actual needs of the chemical engineers. Because what I've seen is that the academic needs help the students, not that much
Mm-hmm.
the actual engineers. So
Yep.
make more content towards recent graduates or engineers that are shifting from industries.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have a very engineer that knows a lot from certain industry. They
Mm-hmm.
change. They know the basics on the engineering, but they need to get trained on certain type of products or processes, And that's what I want to attack, help like engineers shift from industry and be able to produce more content with the time that I'm given. So that's like the holy grail is I need to make more courses per unit time.
Okay, amazing. That's truly amazing that you have a plan at least. That's the main part. Uh, but I would still say that you have a great deal of impact on a lot of chemical engineers because, like I said, personally, if I speak on my personal level, like I've been following you since I was doing my bachelor's in chemical engineering. That's when I first heard about you, and I think I've seen quite a lot of your videos myself. Have you ever had a viewer or a chemical engineer reach out to you and let you know that how your content has had an impact on their life? Any success stories for that made you feel that you are making an impact on the world?
Well, that will be like every day I get emails or messages or in these courses reviews, and I know that it's really helpful because I make the courses for myself. I imagine myself being, I don't know, a student, and I had no other way to go and study topics that are like chewed and actually helpful because there's a lot of books that you can get, but they are not so student friendly. And I know I'm helping people, and yeah, I get a lot of messages, and in person will be maybe not that much because I don't see that many chemical engineers like working, but online, yes, I get a lot of people thanking me, but also a lot of persons asking for more stuff. Like, okay, I really love this course, but it will be great if you build something related towards that. And so, yeah, I really get a lot of feedback with the reviews on comments, emails, posts. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. I mean, I bet you do. I bet there are. I mean, like I said, so there are a lot of fans of your work out there. So, but once again, and I say this on behalf of myself and on the behalf of many chemical engineers, that thank you so very much for the work that you put in and that the work that you have been putting in for the past 9 years, because I feel it truly has made a great deal of difference for people around the globe. So thank you so very much for that, and I hope that you keep putting the same effort, and I hope you achieve even more success in being the chemical engineering guy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. And if you have not done so already, remember to become a free member at Chemical Engineering Life. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and stay tuned for more upcoming podcasts with chemical engineers. Thank you, and have a great day.